Stuff like this one really breaks my heart. Talking about the situation with Ronald Greene. And unfortunately, this is another situation of police brutality. This one goes beyond police brutality. This is probably one of the worst situations that I've seen, that I've read about. I watched a video. In part, it's horrific. The public doesn't have access to the entire video, but just what we've seen, and it's horrific. And the worst part is that this situation happened 2 years ago. It happened, I believe, in May of 2019. So that was 2 years ago. And 2 years ago is a long time for this just start to come out. Not only is it a long time, but in the past 2 years, the world has changed. This country has changed. People's views of police have changed. Different things are on the way as far as police reform and accountability. Those things are on the way. Those things are changing. The Floyd situation occurred. The police officer was prosecuted. They're looking to prosecute the others. Things have changed. This happened before the Floyd situation. That's what's interesting about this. And that's what's pathetic about it, because things have changed so much so that this is what was going on in 2019. The Floyd situation, that was probably the worst that we've all seen. That changed the world. And then this video comes about, and I'll show it to you in just a little bit, just a short version of it. But then this video comes about, this situation comes about. And in my mind, this is worse than the Floyd situation, or just as bad as the Floyd situation. It's horrific. It's a horrific video. And it's hard to understand. It's hard to justify. I listened to the police officers justify what happened that day. And their justification is that this person who they were trying to arrest, who is Ronald Greene, they're saying that he was resisting. And because he was resisting, they had to use excessive force, so much so that he died. He died on the scene. But when you see the video, you don't see Ronald Greene resisting. You see him begging for his life, but you don't see him resisting. You see him being dragged out of his car and he's afraid for his life. You see him being tortured with, I can't remember what they're called, when they shoot the shots into you, whatever, the electric things into him. He's tortured that way. He's kicked, he's beaten, he's handcuffed his legs, his arms are handcuffed, he's put on his stomach, he's dragged on his face. And the whole time he's screaming, he's apologizing, he's begging, he's tortured. It's horrific. When I think of that situation, and it's, anybody who has a sense of humanity is hurting from this video, who's hurting from this information. And it takes these videos to wake us up. But anybody who has a sense of humanity is hurting. Anybody and all of us. From other police officers who see their police officers acting in this way, they have got to be hurting. from citizens who are watching and see this video. Another human being tortured unjustly as he is, they've got to be hurting. Newscasters who have to, they can't hide. They have to put this information out. They have to let the public know, hurting from it. Let alone his mother, who is so bravely out there talking about the situation. She is so brave as she discusses it and the strategy and how she feels and so forth. But can you imagine how she must feel, or what she felt 2 years ago when her son had died? And in this situation, the police said that to her that, he died in a car accident, but it turns out that's not how he died. He was tortured to death. Now, there's two questions. Did the police intend to kill him? I'm going to say no. I don't think they did. Not that you give the police in this situation the benefit of the doubt, because you don't, but I don't think they did. But I do think they were going to teach him a lesson because he ran. So they were going to beat him, torture him. So to me, in that situation, it's abuse of power. The problem is the abuse of power. Some people who have this type of power aren't able to make the right choices. I've said it before, the vast majority of police officers, they can handle the power. They can do the right thing. This is not a representation of the vast majority of police officers. It's just not. But it does give them a black eye because people are seeing them differently. This person was going to be tortured, probably not to his death, but he did die, but he was going to be tortured. And I believe that happens throughout the country, that the brutality of it, that people are tortured. And that's what happened here. He was tortured and he passed away. But then the other question is, why did this person run? Why did Ronald Greene run? We don't know. Don't know why he ran, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. And it doesn't matter because nothing justifies this type of torture to another human being. Nothing justifies it. I don't care why he ran. He was afraid. Who knows what his decision-making process was? Who knows what he was doing? I don't know. Who knows what he was thinking? But even so, police are professionals. They already caught him. They had him in custody. There was no reason to do anything else. It's their job to take him in. There was no reason to make it personal, to start beating on him, to start shocking him with the shotguns. I can't remember what they're called right now, the stun guns. No reason to drag him out on his face. None. It was the abuse of power is what it is. And some people are not able to handle that type of power and to make those kind of decisions. But the difference is this happened in 2019, and this is the year 2021. Things have changed, meaning police officers that conduct themselves in this way moving forward will be held accountable. And that's what's going to happen in this situation. They're going to be held accountable. The nation is going to insist on it. Other police officers are going to insist on it. It's just going to happen, and it needs to happen. But it's so tragic, and I'll move on and show you the video, that a person was tortured, literally tortured to his death by the very people are there to protect all of us. Just to warn you, this video is very graphic, so I understand if you don't want to watch it.
The video doesn't lie. And the best way to protect the integrity of law enforcement agencies is with body cam footage. Not only was there a loss of life at the hands of police, but there's every appearance that there was an active cover-up involved.
Okay. Okay. Oh, Jesus. I'm just trying to keep it probable. I was going to see him up, but I didn't want to spit blood all over us.
No supervisors that were reviewing this event in which someone lost their life did their job. So was that just negligence, or was that because that there was an active cover-up?
So that was just a little bit of the video in part. I didn't want to show too much. It's that's for the most part that was it. It's just pretty graphic. It's just stunning that that human beings can treat each other this way. You know, I just wonder what the mindset of a person who can torture another person, and to get to that point, you really have to make up something, some story in your head why it's okay to torture this guy the way they did. And I feel like it's just, there's too much power there for some people and they can't handle it. And all they need is just a little bit of inkling, a little bit of an excuse to take that power to the extreme, to what they've done. And it makes you wonder, like, this is how they treated this one person. It makes you wonder, like, how long they've been on the force and how many incidents have they had, you know, not to this level, I'm sure, where somebody died, or maybe they have, but who have they brutalized? Who have they terrorized? You know, these handful of people. So anyway, that's all I have. I don't have any more thoughts on that.